everybody. Wanted to give you guys an update how it's going so far. We are about to start day 8, riding day 8. We've had one day off as well. And we today are riding a short day after a very long day yesterday of 87 miles. Today is just about 35 miles to Bay City, Michigan.
So we really enjoyed going into Canada from Buffalo, and we had gone along the Erie Canal for a day, but crossed over into Fort Erie, and when we crossed the border, we were sort of stopped on both sides of the border because they're not used to having bikes cross over, and so we stopped and talked to the border agents, and they were all very interested and amused in some ways by our...
And helpful. Very, very helpful.
Yeah, by our setup and just what we had described as our plan for our trip. And
yeah, they wanted to know details and all about it.
Yeah.
That's what we found from most people along the way. People are really interested. The tandem gets a lot of looks.
Especially
and a
like
lot of
children.
questions. Yeah. Children love it. Horses love it, apparently, too. We see a lot of that.
Yeah.
But people stop and talk to us all the time. We've had trouble sometimes getting out of restaurants because people chat with us and want to know all about what we're doing. So
yeah. So, but we had a really lovely time in Canada. We were in Canada for 4 or 5 days and stayed in some nice places. Our favorite was really Port Stanley, which we stayed in an inn, a little bit different than what we've been doing, but it was a little bit more like a bed and breakfast maybe. And we had a beautiful dinner that night. The town is just opening up for the season, I think. And we walked into this restaurant that was just so sweet, and the staff there were very lovely and helped us make some great, delicious choices, which you may have seen the pictures of on Instagram. So that was really nice. And then the next day we rode back towards the U.S. and got on a ferry back to Michigan.
yeah. Wanted to just go over a couple of things that have happened along the way. I guess nothing major. Yesterday, along the trail that we were on for part of the day, we came across a big tree that was down. We actually had to unload the whole bike, take all the bags off to make it lighter so that we could lift the bike up over this multi-trunk tree that had fallen down.
It's a huge limb.
Yeah, we actually later were like, we should have gotten video of that. It would have been a great story, but you'll have to just imagine it. It was a tough one, but we've also found that some of the roads along our route are a little busier than we are comfortable with. The drivers, for the most part, at least 95% of the drivers have been very respectful. I think we're such an oddity along the road that, especially some of the bigger trucks, they really take their time to move over and respect us. But even so, it's been very, very windy and crosswinds and big gusts and things like that along the way so far, and we have been uncomfortable. So we've been looking for alternate routes. Yesterday we changed things up a little bit and actually took some dirt roads, but it was, I thought, much better. They were good, solid farming dirt roads, and there's a lot of trees on either side, so in these sections where we were going to have a big side wind, we were actually protected a lot more than we were out on the kind of the open highway roads. So,
and I love seeing all the animals. I get excited when I see cows, and I usually moo at them. And then the horses, they all perk up when they see us coming. I'm sure they're sort of wondering what the heck we're doing.
Yeah, we wish we could read their minds because their heads just go, what is that? So that's a little bit of what we've encountered. We had a request from a friend to do a little bit of lessons learned kind of stuff. So we're going to go through what our lessons learned. It's nothing earth-shattering.
No,
but
and it's only been a week, so these are lessons learned so far.
Right. We'll do another one later. So
So for me, never underestimate the importance of good cycling shorts. The first couple of days, I had a bit of soreness, and after what happened when I did across Florida, I was really not looking forward to a repeat of that. So it was dress it right away, try to treat the soreness, and make sure to always have good shorts.
Yeah. To sort of support that idea, we also like to stop every hour. It's not always exactly on the hour, but we really try to make an effort to stop every hour, even if it's just to put a foot down, take a drink of water or whatever we're drinking, and just get off the bike for a minute. We obviously take longer stops for lunch and things like that, but literally sometimes it's just an intersection where we just pull over and rest for a minute, and that's been really helpful. We actually learned that a while ago.
Yeah, getting off the saddle is important.
But when you're flying along and feeling good, you forget that you need to do that, and suddenly it's been 2 hours, and now we're behind on feeling bad. So.
Yeah. We also have learned to be prepared for any kind of weather. So in the week plus that we've been out here, we've had yesterday was super warm in the 80s. The day before was in the 50s and windy. The day before that, we had terrible rain. We've had a lot of cold weather so far. So luckily, we have all the right gear and have been flexible with ourselves to add or take off when we've needed to. So that's been really important.
Yeah, and similarly, it's being willing to adjust, like we said about the roads yesterday, or if the rain, we had gotten soaked a few days back and saw another big band of rain coming, and we headed for a little pizza place, hung out there. They were very, very nice, but we were there for like an hour and a half, just hanging out, waiting for the rain to stop. But being willing to sort of adjust, and while we've got a nice structure to this whole ride, we also need to be flexible in how that happens, and it could be wind, roads, partners' needs, whatever the situation.
So also afternoon coffee. Even in my regular life, at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm really low on energy, and I've found that riding is not that much different for me, that I'm great in the morning, but by the afternoon I'm really starting to suffer. And so we have found ways to recaffeinate in the afternoon, whether it be a hot coffee when on a cold day, or yesterday was a Starbucks Frappuccino, which was quite a treat.
May become addicted too. We'd love it if we could find a great coffee shop all along the way, every time we need one at 3 o'clock or so. But that doesn't always happen that way. So sometimes it's gas station Frappuccinos. So, and kind of similar to this last couple that we've talked about, if something is hurting or annoying you or doesn't feel right on the bike, we found it's really important to stop and address it. Some of our days have been 6.5 hours of riding time. It might be 8+ hours on the day of being out there. And you don't want some little problem to just keep cropping up and or bothering you all day. So we've really been like, let's stop, let's see what this is, let's try to fix whatever the situation is. The bike's creaking, a cleat is creaking, something hurts. We stop and address it. So.
Salon Pass for me.
We're not sponsored by Salon Pass.
Not yet. One thing I can also say is that king-size beds are really important for us for getting a good night's sleep. I have been such a heavy sleeper on these long days, but I move around a lot, and I do talk in my sleep at times.
It's a lot of information for people.
And so it's been really nice to be able to find places that have king-size beds for us.
Yeah. We both use Wahoo computers, and all this is planned out in Ride with Jeep Ride with GPS. Also not sponsored by any of those. We're not sponsored by anybody, by the way. But having the route on both our computers is super helpful. Because it's two people looking at, the turns and whatever. This is especially true when we get to some towns or when we're leaving in the morning and we've got to get ourselves to a route from the hotel. There can be lots and lots of turns and they come up quickly. And so having both of us looking at that has really been very helpful.
We've developed a morning routine, which I really look forward to each day. And the days that we haven't done it, we've noticed. So we get up in the morning, we go to breakfast in the hotel typically, have some coffee, and then we do a morning activation and stretching routine. We use Dynamic Cyclist. Again, we are not sponsored by them, but we are enjoying their videos. It's about 15 minutes, very simple to follow. In most hotel rooms, we have enough space to do it side by side, so we just sort of get into our cycling clothes, do our stretching before we leave in the morning.
Yeah, that routine's been great and something that we try to really, make sure it's, coffee, get dressed, get backed, do the activation routine and roll out. So, and then I think most important and kind of to end on is remembering that we chose to do this and that we really wanted to do it, worked hard to get here. So, that this is fun, right? And we are having a lot of fun along the way and seeing some really great stuff. And so taking the time to remember to enjoy this, that, when the roads are busy and the wind is pounding us from the side or from the front or the wind comes from everywhere, that it's still a beautiful place. We're seeing amazing things and meeting nice people and having a good time. So keep it fun, keep enjoying the ride. So.
Hopefully you guys are enjoying these videos. For quick daily updates, I am still trying to post on Instagram every day. Those are a little goofier, less organized in my thoughts. But there are a lot of thoughts that go through our heads during the day, and we don't always have a way to record them or capture them. So, but right. Keep watching and like and subscribe. And we'll see you next time.